In the dim glow of the hospital room, a woman lay calmly in her bed, swathed in bandages. Her name was Marissa, and she was thought to be unconscious after a purported accident. However, beneath the gauze, her sharp eyes watched everything. Marissa's husband, Jim, a man who had an unfavorable love for get-rich-quick schemes and melodramatic displays, thought he had orchestrated his magnum opus. He hired quack doctors who could barely spell stethoscope and flashed counterfeit legal papers so genuine-looking even a lawyer might cry. Embellishing the scenario with theatrical flair, Jim was ready to make the coup de grace of his greed, swindle Marissa out of her inheritance. To set the stage, Jim woefully sat at her bedside, his one-act play filled with crocodile tears and wistful sighs. "If only you'd sign those papers," he sobbed convincingly. "I could manage everything while you rest." Marissa, ever the brilliant strategist, didn't flinch. Letting him think his plot unraveled undetected, she offered a serene smile instead of resistance. But instead of touching the fraudulent documents, she pulled out her secret weapon, the genuine papers that she had meticulously prepared. "Of course, my love," Marissa cooed with a saccharine sweetness that should have raised Jim's suspicion. After planting a kiss on his cheek, more to stain his ego than any display of affection, she signed with the flair of an Oscar-winning actress. Little did Jim know, Marissa's signature that day marked the beginning of his downfall. The papers ensured every penny of her fortune would remain with her, and every deceit he meticulously stacked like a house of flimsy cards would come crumbling before the authorities. Jim swaggered to the bank, already envisioning a life of luxury funded by his wife's generosity. However, instead of wealth, he found an account echoing emptier than a broken promise. The finale occurred at home when stern-faced officers knocked on the door. Interrupting his dreamy transaction, they carted him away, along with his mistress, who apparently turned state's evidence quicker than a magician's sleight of hand. Marissa reclined back in her bed, the quiet satisfaction of her well-executed plan washing over her like the calm after a perfect storm. Her revenge required no shouting, no confrontation. It lived in the powerful vacuum of silence. For Marissa understood the delicate art of subtlety, knowing that silence can dismantle pretenses far more effectively than clamor ever could.